On 16 December 2014, 7 gunmen affiliated with the Tehrik-i-Taliban conducted a terrorist attack on the Army public school in the northwestern Pakistani city of Peshawar. The militants, all of whom were foreign nationals, included 1 Chechen, 3 Arabs and 2 Afghans. They entered the school and opened fire on school staff and children, killing 141 people, including 132 schoolchildren, ranging between 8 and 18 years of age. A rescue operation was launched by the Pakistan Army's Special Services Group Special Forces, who killed all 7 terrorists and rescued 960 people. On 2 December 2015, Pakistan hanged 4 militants involved in the Peshawar massacre. This was the deadliest terrorist attack ever to occur in Pakistan, surpassing the 2007 Karachi bombing. According to various news agencies and commentators, the nature and preparation of the attack was very similar to that of the Beslan school hostage crisis that occurred in the North Ossetia-Alania region of the Russian Federation in 2004. Background: in June 2014, a joint military offensive was conducted by the Pakistan Armed Forces against various groups in North Waziristan, which has been the site of a wave of violence. The military offensive, Operations RBAZB, was launched in the wake of the 8 June attack on Jinnah International Airport in Karachi, for which the TTP claimed responsibility. It is part of the ongoing war in northwest Pakistan, in which more than 2,100 have been killed so far, and, according to the army, almost 90% of North Waziristan has been cleared. The attack began at around 10:30 a.m., when 7 gunmen, disguised in uniforms of a Pakistani paramilitary force, the Frontier Corps, entered the school from the back through a cemetery adjacent to the school after having scaled the walls. Army Public School is located at Warsak Road near the Peshawar Cant, and is part of Army Public Schools and College Systems that runs 146 schools in Pakistan. Before entering the school, the gunmen set fire to the Suzuki Bolan ST-41 van in which they had arrived. The terrorists, bearing automatic weapons, moved straight toward the auditorium located at the center of the complex and opened fire indiscriminately on the children who were gathered there for first aid training. According to the Director General of the Inter-Services Public Relations, the Public Relations Department of the Pakistani military, Major General Azim Bajwa, the terrorists did not intend to take any hostages but instead wanted to kill as many pupils as they could. As the terrorists opened fire, many of the pupils ran toward the 2 exits on the other side of the auditorium, but many of them were gunned down in the garden. Reports also surfaced that pupils were forced to watch teachers, including Principal Tahira Qazi, to be killed in front of them. Within 15 minutes, the SSG teams had stormed the school and entered the premises from 2 sides in their heavy armored vehicles and trucks. Immediately, the SSG personnel engaged the terrorists, preventing them from going after and killing other remaining teaching staff and students. The gunmen moved to the administration block of the school and took hostages there. One of them was shot by the military personnel near the auditorium, while the other 6 managed to make it to the administration block. Terrorists wanted to inflict maximum casualties, says DGISPR. The emergency trauma teams and units of the Army Medical Corps in military armored vehicles were rushed to the school. Army Corps of Military Police and the provincial civilian Khyber Pakhtunkhwa police worked toward closing off any potential escape routes for the terrorists. Meanwhile, the SSG commandos had reached the area and surrounded the administration block. Most of the operation took place in the attempt to clear this block and rescue the hostages taken by the gunmen. Special teams of snipers and their spotters pinpointed the terrorists. 3 of the 6 attackers were killed by the snipers from the windows and air vents, while the other 3 were killed when the commandos stormed the building and rescued the remaining hostages in the process, 7 commandos, including 2 officers, were injured in the battle. A search and clearance operation was started immediately to defuse any IEDs planted by the gunmen within the school premises or in the suicide vests that the terrorists were wearing. The terrorists were in contact with their handlers during the attack, but soon after the SSG had moved in, the security forces intercepted the terrorists' communications. We know who they are and who they were in contact with, but details cannot be shared due to operation reasons. They were aware of locations, and they must have carried out the recon of the area, and it is highly possible that someone from inside might have tipped them off, said Bajwa. Casualties: an estimated total of 1,099 pupils and teaching staff were present on the school premises. Responding forces were successful in rescuing approximately 960, though 121 were injured. More than 150 people were killed, including 134 children and school staff members. The provincial government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa announced 500,000 Pakistani rupees as compensation to the kin of each of the deceased in the terror attack and 200,000 Pakistani rupees to the seriously injured. Responsibility: the Tehrik-i-Taliban Pakistan claimed responsibility for the attack, describing it as revenge for Operation Rbazb, the Pakistani military's offensive in North Waziristan that started in summer 2014. TTP spokesman Mohammed Omar Khorasani said that, "We targeted the school because the army targets our families. We want him to feel our pain. Our 6 fighters successfully entered the army school and we're giving them instructions from outside," said Khorasani by phone. Khorasani also said, "Our suicide bombers have entered the school. They have instructions not to harm the children, but to target the army personnel. It's a revenge attack for the army offensive in North Waziristan." Later, though, the Taliban claimed contrary by putting out a statement saying, "More than 50 sons of important army officers were killed after being identified." The attacks were mainly coordinated by TTP leaders operating in Afghanistan. According to the Pakistani Federal Investigation Agency or FIA's early investigations, the group was led by the terrorist Abu Shamal, who planned the attacks, accompanied by 3 Arabs and 2 Afghans who spoke Pashto and were from eastern Afghanistan. On the 18th of December 2014, a video was released by TTP on their website showing a man named Umar Mansour revealing that he was the mastermind behind the Peshawar school attack. However, the Pakistan government officials commented that the planning of the attack was actually carried out by Saddam Yan, who was instructed by Umar Mansour on behalf of Maulana Fazlullah. On the 26th of December 2014 at midnight, Yan was hunted and killed by the Special Forces in Khyber Agency in a secret hideout alongside 6 unidentified high-value targets. Nationalities of the terrorists: the Pakistani intelligence community conducted an investigation to determine the nationalities of the terrorists, whom the FIA determined were all foreign fighters. The identities of 6 of the gunmen were released. Abu Shamal, a Chechen fighter and thought to be the ringleader of the group; Numan Shah Helmand, an Afghan citizen from Helmand Province, the U.S., had placed a $500,000 bounty upon Shah. Wazir Alam Herat, an Afghan citizen from Herat; Khatib al-Zubaydi, an Arabic speaker and an Egyptian citizen; Mohammed Zaidi, an Arabic speaker and a Moroccan citizen; Gibran al-Saidi, an Arab of unknown nationality. Reactions: the attack sparked widespread reactions in Pakistan, receiving condemnations from public, government, political and religious entities, journalists, and other members of Pakistani society. Pakistani media reacted strongly to the events, with major newspapers, news channels and many commentators calling for renewed and strong action against militants, especially against TTP. International reaction to the attack was also widespread, with many countries and international organizations condemning the attack and expressing their condolences to the families of the victims. Many important personalities around the world also condemned the attack. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif condemned the attack, calling it a national tragedy, and announced a three-day mourning period during which the national flag would fly at half-mast. President Mamnoon Hussein and chief ministers of 4 provinces reacted strongly to the attack and condemned it. Artists from around the world also expressed their concern and were very upset by this horrible act. Pakistani artist and singer Shehzad Roy sang a new song for the victims of the Peshawar attack, which is now the official song on the national TV channel of Pakistan, PTV. Major Pakistani political entities denounced and heavily condemned the attack on innocent children, calling for a strong reaction against the militants. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leader Imran Khan calls off the protest. Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai condemned the attack, saying in a statement, "I am heartbroken by this senseless and cold-blooded act of terror in Peshawar that is unfolding before us." Her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, said his heart is bleeding, and his family is traumatized over the Peshawar school massacre. Even the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda spokesperson said that, "Our hearts are bursting with pain, and that the soldiers should be targeted, not their children." Following the attack, Pakistani authorities launched crackdowns on Afghan refugee settlements to apprehend illegal immigrants. During the period, at least 30,000 Afghans left for Afghanistan, out of which close to 2,000 were deported due to lack of legal documentation. Aftermath. Many international media organizations referred to the attack as Pakistan's 9/11. The popular opinion was one of anger against the TTP soon after the attacks. Pakistan's government and its armed forces showed immediate reaction to the incident. According to the Iranian-American scholar, Vali Nasser, the Taliban may be trying to slacken the resolve of the military by suggesting that there could be 8 tremendous human costs to the military offensive and create public pressure on the military to back off from this offensive, but it may actually ricochet on them. On the second day after the attack, the moratorium on capital punishment was lifted in terror-related cases by Nawaz Sharif, after which Muhammad Aqil along with Arshad Mahmood, the convicted for a failed assassination attempt on the previous president, General Pervez Musharraf, were executed on the 19th of December. Protesters in Pakistan's capital Islamabad surrounded a pro-Taliban mosque and reclaimed the space. A series of candle vigils were held throughout Pakistan in solidarity with the victims. A number of international communities recorded their protest to condemn the attack. On the 30th of December 2014, Pakistani batsman Yunus Khan visited the school. The Pakistani team played a test match against New Zealand on the second day after the massacre. Yunus Khan handed over cricket kits and of checks sent by the New Zealand cricket team. ISPR released a song, Bara Dushman Bana Fitha Hai Jo Bachon She Lata Hai, to pay tribute to victims. However, the Taliban also released a satirical song on the same tune as the former on YouTube, Bara General Banafitha Hai, Dollar-Laki Lata Hai. In 2015, Pakistan renamed 107 schools after schoolchildren killed during the massacre in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. Reopen the Army Public School Peshawar was reopened on 12 January 2015 under the guard of Pakistan's security forces. To uplift the morale and spirit of the students and victims of school, the Chief of Army Staff General Raheel Sharif himself attended the morning assembly of the school and confirmed that no such incident will ever occur in Pakistan again. They will break the backbone of Taliban. Lifting of moratorium on executions of terrorists on 17 December 2014. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif approved paperwork to remove the moratorium on the death penalty in terror-related cases. Sources from the Prime Minister's Secretariat stated, the Prime Minister has approved abolishment of moratorium on the execution of death penalty in terrorism-related cases. Pakistan has had a moratorium on execution since 2008. Currently there are approximately 800 people on death row in Pakistan in terrorism-related cases. The move comes following the widely held perception that terrorists are never brought to justice in Pakistan. Many times, the judges and witnesses are too scared to come forward and award due sentences to the terrorists. And even when the terrorists are convicted and sent to prison, the frail policing system of Pakistan has seen many jailbreaks, including the Banu and Dera Ismail Khan jailbreaks, in which many high-profile terrorists escaped. David Griffiths, Deputy Director for Amnesty International Asia Pacific, opposed the decision, saying, "Resorting to the death penalty is not the answer, it is never the answer."